everybody. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Sistas podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia Harper, and I'm joined today by my sisters, Yvette Blackman-Tom.
Hello.
Sabrina Wood.
Whoop, whoop.
And Fran T.
What's happening?
Ha! What's happening, Fran? What's happening is that we have an amazing guest with us today. We have TV royalty. We have royalty from American culture, a woman who has helped define so much of our culture. Y'all don't even know half the story, but, you know, she's super important to us Black women as well. I'm going to just name a few things that she's done in no particular order, just so y'all can get a sense of who we're talking about. She's been on A Different World. She's been on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. She's been in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which is one of my personal favorites. Girlfriends, Static Shock, The Cleveland Show, Soul Man, Grey's Anatomy, Castle, The Boondocks, Doc McStuffins, Rick and Morty. You've heard her in World of Warcraft and X-Men as Storm. She's been in Tacoma and Fallout 76. She co-wrote the theme song for A Different World, which is still one of my all-time favorite songs ever, not jingle or not, you know, theme song or not, it's a good song. And she co-wrote You wrote the theme song for Hanging with Mr. Cooper, correct?
No, I sang it.
Oh, you sang it. You sang it. Yes. She got inducted into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame, and she's won the BMI TV Music Award 3 times, right?
Mm-hmm.
If y'all haven't guessed that, most importantly, well, not most importantly, but also equally as importantly, she is our first fully pipped Black woman captain in Star Trek history. She is none other than Dawnn Lewis, y'all.
Oh, thank you. Oh, see, now how you gonna wear a fully pipped shirt and didn't send one to me?
Don't worry, I got it for you for Vegas.
You got it for okay. There you go. It is such a pleasure to see you, ladies, again.
It is such an honor to have you with us, our captain.
So
yes.
We are so excited. We're like giddy.
I know.
Jaleesa's coming. Okay, well, we have to start there, please, if you don't mind, because okay, good, thank you. Because A Different World was like everything to us, you know. I mean, that show, when I saw it, it gave me something to aspire to. It let me know, like, it showed me women that I wanted to be like or that I wanted to be around. And Jaleesa was my jam. Mm-hmm. You know, like I wasn't really identifying with the younger kids that were there. Like Jaleesa had her head on straight. Like she was just about her business. Like I always wanted to be her. I was never like Jaleesa. I always wanted to be like Jaleesa.
Right. Like when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like Jaleesa.
I'm gonna be just like Jaleesa. I'm not gonna take nothing from nobody.
Because I'm crazy ass Freddie right now.
That's exactly who I was. I was the hippie girl, like all up. But Jaleesa was our jam. So can you talk to us a little bit about the lasting legacy of Jaleesa and the lasting legacy of this show?
Wow, that's, first of all, let me say I am humbled and I am incredibly honored to be thought of that way. One of the funny little tidbits, pieces of trivia about that is that I was hired to play this older college student when in reality I was younger than a good number of the cast. I was just taller than everybody. So yeah, I was just taller than everybody. So it's very interesting, you know, when people say, "Oh my God, you were so older and mature," and it's like, yeah, no. I'm a very good actor. No,
that's right.
No, it was a joy because my mom was actually one of those people. She came from Guyana, South America, and married my dad, who was in the U.S. military. That's how she got brought into the States and got her citizenship. He was also Guyanese. They grew up from across the street from each other.
Wow.
So it wasn't until my mom had all 4 kids, had gotten divorced, had tried to find jobs and a way to take care of the four of us, that she went back to school to get her education so that she could get a better job.
Wow.
Yeah,
So my
that's cool.
mom was that original, it ain't over till it's over.
Over. Right. I love that.
In my life. And then as far as being Jaleesa goes, that was a name I had never heard before. And I got to meet the original Jaleesa while we were filming the pilot. And she was married to one of Mr. Cosby's best friends, Walt Haslett. That's who Sinbad's character was named after, Coach Walt.
Wow.
Oates. So Jaleesa is his wife. God rest his soul, Walt passed away a few years ago, but I met her and we stayed in touch. We're still great friends. Jaleesa told me a very interesting story, that her name is actually a made-up name.
Wow.
Of course it is.
A Muslim. Walt was a Muslim and wanted her to convert to Islam. And so they made up a name because the name they were giving her, a traditional Muslim name, she really wasn't down with. Made up this name, Jaleesa, and she adopted that. That's her legal name now. And so Mr. Cosby named Sinbad after Walt and named me after her. And now she is the absolute OG Jaleesa. And so now with my name being Jaleesa on the show, now being broadcast to millions of people around the world, many different countries, I have literally met at least 1,000 young ladies named Jaleesa.
I'm sure you have.
The show, which is just to me a huge testament to the beauty of the name, the grounded originality. You chose that name. You know, that name was a chosen name. So for anyone to adopt it and name their child after my character, that's just huge to me. We've been in the Guinness Book of World Records twice.
Wow.
Name most used, people most used to name their child after a television character.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That is so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so Jaleesa is level-headed. She's grounded. She is purposeful. She is nurturing. She is so many amazing things. She's forever organized. And half of the things that I just mentioned, I don't know that they correlate to Dawnn as well. But my best to do my best. I don't always have the right answer. I don't always do the right thing. I am only human, but she does set a standard and reside in me in a way that causes me to expect and require the best of myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You kind of got the Star Trek effect with Different World, you know, forever Jaleesa. Now you're going to be forever the captain.
I've had about 1,000 jobs since Different World, and I will be for some people forever. Hey, are you still acting? Yeah, I'm on 12 shows right now.
Still acting? What?
Silly question.
So apparently, unless it's in a Different World reboot, I don't see you. I don't see you. Yes,
Oh no,
praise God, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask. I wanted to ask a question. Keeping with Different World, can you talk to the tour that you guys have just been on? I mean,
I was going to ask about the same
so
thing.
it's just
So cool.
Oh, man, the tour. Just to do that and go to HBCUs, because I was in college when Different World was on. So it was a thing for us. Like all the Black students, like the BSU, would go into the tavern and we would watch A Different World together because we were those kids, you know, like people, nobody cared about us kids that were doing the good thing, you know, it wasn't a thing. Like there was nothing but about bad kids or the kids were doing this, gangs or whatever, but nothing about the kids who said, oh, I'm going to do what my parents tell me to do and I'm going to college and, you know, get a good education. So Different World means a lot to me. You know, we were seen because our parents didn't ask us, if you're going to college. They asked us, what college are you going to?
Yes, exactly. There was no if about it.
There was no if. We was going. Right.
You know, that the whole phenomenon, you know, you were on campus feeling unseen. We were doing a show about young people doing their best to do their best and being seen, when in reality, us as a cast, us as a show, were unseen by the people who were employing us. And it was the fans. It was the reality of the people whose lives we touched, of whose lives we reflected, of whose journeys we gave license to. That's what kept us on the air. They could not deny the ratings. Right. They could not deny the financial lucrativeness of the show. But however, we weren't paid what we should have been paid. We weren't supported the way we should have been supported. We went back and forth between our show and the Cosby Show as being the number one or number two television series. Not half-hour show, not black show, period. TV.
Right. Oh, the Thursday night lineup. You were home.
That's the original must-see TV.
Thank you. For 6 years. How does the number one, number two show on television around the planet never get nominated for an Emmy?
Thank you.
Never ever get invited to the Emmys to hand a trophy to somebody else. Never have a commercial, never have a billboard, never have an hour-long special. So the reception that we get now, 37 years later, where every day of those 37 years since the day our show debuted, we have been on television. We have never not on television. 37 years. The reception we get now, whether it's from our viewers or it's from major mainstream television talk shows like The View. We did Oprah once. I did Oprah about 4 times, three times as an individual and once with the cast. You know, there was some shows we got to do, like Arsenio Hall, etc. But major daytime TV, no. We were on The View the first time, for the first time within a few weeks ago.
Wow.
The White House for the first time ever. Acknowledged on the level that we're being acknowledged now for the first time ever. So it is incredibly humbling. It's incredibly touching. It's incredibly honoring to us to get firsthand. And these are all kids that are in schools now that weren't born in the same.
Because my kids
shot the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that the legacy continues to inspire, it is mind blowing. It is mind blowing. And we couldn't be more grateful. When I walk out on that stage and they're playing the theme song for A Different World, and every person, white, black, young, old, American, non-American, it doesn't matter, knows every single
word.
Every single word.
And the introduction music.
Oh my God. And singing it full voice like it's their own personal anthem.
Yep.
Because it is.
It really is.
It destroys me.
Wow.
I get so emotional because when I got approached to write the song, I just wrote my own story.
Right.
I was 16 years old when I left home. I graduated high school, left home, left New York City, and went all the way down to Miami, Florida to start college at 16.
Wow.
On student loans and college work study, figuring it out on the fly, how to pay a bill, how to get my assignments in on time, how to keep my room clean, how to now build this community where on A Different World, I played the older person. But in college, I was straight up the baby.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Everywhere I went, expected to still perform and be responsible on a level of people several years older than myself. So I wrote my own journey. All I had armed with was what my family taught me, was what my village instilled in me and said, okay, go forth, make it happen. And that was what I did. And that was what I wrote. So it was very personal to me. And that one song alone, I was already writing, I was already singing, I already had a record out, I was already lead singer in a band, which is how they found me in the first place.
Oh, wow.
The demo tape, right?
My demo tape. The music director of The Cosby Show had my demo and had my phone number. It was a cassette. Let's call it
what it is.
What's a cassette? I don't know. You didn't just like, download it and like stream it? No.
No, ma'am.
So my
Get a
phone
pencil and
number
rewind it.
I dare you to put your phone number on anything anymore.
Right.
So my phone, and he called my house and said, would you be available and interested in working with me on the theme song for this new Cosby spinoff? And I'm going to send you some music this afternoon. This is the bass, track that I want you to write to. And if you're the same woman that wrote and is singing these songs, I think you can do what I need done. He didn't want to hear a rough draft. He didn't want to.
Wow.
This was on a Wednesday. He said, we'll be in the studio on Friday. I'll see you then.
Wow.
Hello.
And the same time he called me, the casting directors called me to ask me if I was still interested in auditioning. I begged them for 3 months to get an audition for the show, and they said no. They finally changed their minds when I was down to my last unemployment check, hallelujah, and said, if you're still interested, you can come in tomorrow. Again, this was Wednesday. So I'm thinking my friends are playing a joke on me. It's like, okay, these kinds of calls just don't happen. They all know I'm broke. They know I don't have any more money coming in. But it turned out to be not the case. So I went in for my audition on Thursday. Afterwards, I was on the phone that morning, making phone calls, trying to find representation. I didn't have an agent, a manager. And what I knew I really needed right in that moment was an attorney to negotiate this contract. I've been asked to write the biggest, most important piece of music of my career thus far.
Oh my God.
I've literally just been out of college for like two years. So I found the gentlemen, the lawyers that wrote one of the textbooks that I studied in school, This Business of Music. It was written by Bill Krasilovsky and
yes.
There you go.
Such a famous book.
And I looked them up in the yellow pages and said, look, you don't know me, but I just studied your book in school. And I want to know, do you have free legal aid? Do you have a niece? You got somebody that knows how to do this that can help you out? And they said, well, come in tomorrow, Thursday, the same Thursday, and tell us what's going on. We'll see what we can do. So I went to my audition. They said, okay, thank you, bye. And okay, I left. I went over to their office. I told them the story. They said, we'd be happy to represent you. I said, okay, well, you must have missed the part where I said, I just got out of school and I don't have any money. I can't pay you.
Right.
I need to speak to your secretary or somebody. And they said, no. We are impressed with the fact that you want to do this the right way and didn't just decide to sign anything. So we're happy to help you free of charge.
Wow.
And they said, all we ask is that when you get a chance, you pay it forward. And they had to tell me what that meant. I'd never heard that term before. And I sat in their office and I was bawling. I was crying. No one had ever done anything that incredibly supportive and generous to me before, ever, outside of my family.
Yeah.
You know,
it's those angels that we don't, that are all around us. You know what that story reminds me of? It reminds me of Carol Burnett's story a little bit. When she got money lent to her to go to go out to LA, to leave New York. I mean to go up to New York, right? And to go up to New York, and they said, pay it forward. Like that's the only thing that we want back from you. We don't want anything. We want to help you because you're talented. You've got drive. We see you want, and just pay it forward when you can.
And that's been manifested in my life ever since. I was doing it already when it came to young people, like going back to my previous schools, whether it was my elementary school, my junior high, my high school, my college, and trying to be a motivating force, as well as to check in with my former teachers to say, this is what I'm doing now. This is, you inspired me to do this. You encouraged me to do that. You supported me and gave me the skill set to do X, Y, and Z. That was my habit. So when I booked A Different World, less than 10 days later, I had written the theme song. I had booked the co-star spot, and they had no idea they had hired the same person to do completely different jobs.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, but when they found out, all of a sudden I was no longer allowed to sing the theme song. They said, okay, that's just a little too much attention on you, and it's not your show. So we're going to have somebody else. sing the theme song. No, we were in Mr. Cosby's office at my final meeting. It was Mr. Cosby, Tom Werner of Carsey Werner, and the casting directors, Bill and Julie Hughes Moss. Barry and Julie Hughes Moss. So we're sitting there and I'm ready to audition for Mr. Cosby. And they're like, okay, well, Bill, before we get started, what did you think of the song? He says, oh man, the song is perfect. The song is great. The girl's voice is incredible. And it says everything it needs to say. And I'm sitting there like, I literally raised my hand. They said, what? I said, I just want to say thank you for what? For the song. I'm really glad you like the song. They says, what are you talking about? I said, I'm the girl. I'm the one you're talking about. And they looked at me like, what?
Wait,
and that's when they put 2 and 2 together. I never auditioned. They said, okay, you see her hair? We love her hair. You see the clothes, the way she's dressed? That's the way we want her dressed. So this and this, and they're starting talking about all this other, and at least 10, 15 minutes goes by. I raised my hand again. They said, yes, what is it? I said, does this mean I have the job?
Wow.
He said, what do you think we were talking about for the last 15 minutes? Yeah, I'm just checking. I'm just asking. And so they said, okay, wait out in the hallway. Somebody, we'll be right with you. And I'm in the hallway, like screaming with no sound coming out. And Tom Werner comes out in the hallway. He said, congratulations. I'm very happy for you. I said, thank you so much. I'm like, I'm so full. I'm so emotional. And I said, do you mind if I need to call my mom? Is there a phone I can use? He said, sure, you can use my office. And before we called my mom, I said, look, I don't want to sound weird or anything, but would you pray with me? And he looked at me and said, I'd be honored. And we held hands and we sat and I prayed and I gave God glory and thanks for the blessing that he just enveloped me with, because things like that just don't happen.
Right.
Not the way that happened, but it taught me a lesson that if they see you coming, someone may try to block you, because if they put the pieces together, that's the first thing they did.
Wow.
Was try to block me, was no, you can't sing it. We're going to use it and you can't sing it. One of the things when I talk to people about their business and show business and handling your business in this world of show, don't get so distracted and caught up in being part of the show that you fail to handle your business. That contract that Feynman and Krasowski negotiated for me, unheard of. First time TV theme songwriter, I got 50-50 credit. 50-50 credit. And they were supposed to give me screen credit. So the musical director says, well, Mr. Cosby gets 50% of everything that I do. My attorney said, well, Mr. Cosby is welcome to 50% of your 50%, but Miss Lewis is 50% writer. She wrote the melody, she wrote the lyrics. It's in all rights and intents, it's her song. However, we know that you hired her, you brought her on as a musical director. So, okay, 50-50. They're like, oh, okay. When the first episode aired, the pilot aired, my name was not there as per my contract. When I got my first check, I was paid at 33.33%. It took me almost a year to get that corrected, because that's how they filed the pay paperwork.
Right.
However, after that first episode aired, I called my attorneys and they said, Dawnn, don't worry about it. We got you. Because I went to my bosses and said, I think there's been a mistake. My name wasn't there. My name's supposed to be there. They said, you're in the show. What else do you want? I said, I want what's in my contract. Nice. And they said, well, it's going to take us time to fix it, at least a month, six weeks, whatever. We'll get around to it. So when I called my attorneys, they said, Dawnn, don't worry. We got you. Their response to the network and to the production company was, you are now officially in breach of contract. Either this is fixed immediately. In fact, you know what? Take all the time you need. But until it's done, you have an injunction against you and you will not be allowed to use the song until this is remedied. That bad boy was fixed next week.
Right?
And that's the business of show business.
Yeah.
Wow.
The time to do that. Because I could have just jumped at the opportunity and signed whatever they wanted me to sign.
It signed your life away.
Signed my life away. And that just taught me such a valuable lesson that, it means nothing to them.
Right.
For me to have that credit. It means nothing for them to be paid the way you're supposed to be paid. But some folk will do you the way they want to do you just because of...
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yep.
They can.
Because they think they can.
Right. They think they can.
You know what? They think they can, or they think it's in their right to do so. Reading masterpieces like Caste, the book Caste, that shed so much light on why some people feel compelled to withhold accolades, to withhold opportunity, to withhold compensation, to withhold ownership, just based on the color of your skin, because it completely disrupts their narrative of who you're supposed to be.
And who they are.
And who they are. Because if you're this excellent, capable, artistically endowed person, what does that say about them? Do you know what I'm saying? So the threat is ingrained. It's very, very real. So you're not always the popular one when you stand up for yourself, when you require people to treat you with fairness, to be equitable with you, to be respectful of you, to be considerate of you.
Right.
It doesn't always go over well. And
you get the difficult label.
Difficult label. Exactly. But I know I sleep well at night. I know the spirit with which I approach everything, and that's to collaborate and to be cooperative and to walk in the fullness of my blessing, because I truly believe that God deposited what he deposited in me, because he knows that when you ask me, I'm going to reflect where it came from. So he just keeps giving me more in me so that when it comes through me, you see him ultimately. And that's not at anybody else's expense. It's not, I believe I never do anything with it's either me or you.
Right.
I prefer to come at it with, I'm giving them every reason to choose me. If they choose me over you, so be it.
Yep.
But they may have other criteria and end up choosing you. But at least I know I showed up. If I show up, it's because I plan on showing up.
Girl, I love it. Go ahead now, preach. You just said a lot.
She said a word, didn't she?
She said a lot, a major word. You just got to, y'all just sit back and absorb that for a minute. That was a lot of good stuff in there, but invigorating and so inspiring.
Thank you.
So inspiring.
Right. All these youngsters that are starting businesses, starting internet stuff, don't go rushing in and take the first deal and sign everything. You got to know what's going on. And if you don't know, ask a lawyer.
We've seen and heard the horror stories of people who didn't do it right. After they signed their life away, signed everything away, and then they're looking like they didn't know because they didn't know.
Right.
Well, nowadays you got to know, because there's so much information out there. I mean, you talking about the yellow pages, I was just cracking up about how much we depended on those yellow pages.
Yes.
But nowadays, you have got to do the work. It's there for you to do it. I mean, even with us just putting this, moving forward with our ventures, there's so much you have to learn out there, but it's there for you to learn if you go ahead and do the research and be diligent about, like you said, about your business, because you have to, when you put your product out there, you have to safeguard it.
Right.
This is the best you can.
Technology is a monster.
It is. Yeah. It is a monster. It really is. Yeah.
And legislation is so far behind.
So slow.
God.
Because right now technology is the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay the wild, wild west until we chip away little by little to see how we can legislate it and regulate it and make sure we are protected. Our intellectual properties are protected, and you can make a living doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
Right. You can pay some bills and not realize that everything you offer in the spirit of, I want to share my gift with the world, somebody else has found a way to get a check.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. And it's every day. Every day you're making,
and it's changing all the time.
Yep. Every second. I mean, I swear it feels like it's every second something has changed.
Yep.
I'm like, why am I feel like I'm always 2 steps behind when it comes to technology? I'm probably 5 steps behind.
Nobody told you. Nobody tapped you on the shoulder and said, sis, let me
holler at you for a minute.
Let me holler at you for a second. Like, no, but there are people whose jobs it is to know. Mm-hmm. So it's your job to find the people who know.
Right. Exactly.
The system is designed to make sure you don't know.
Yeah.
That's how they keep ahead of you.
Yep.
That's how they keep. It's not by accident.
No
like every
way.
time you update your phone, how long does it take you to figure out? Okay, so what did this update just?
Right.
What did I need to update this phone for?
Nothing looking different now.
Yeah, I used to be able to do this by doing this, so I can't do that anymore. So how do I do that? Oh, you don't have that option anymore. There are things on the phone that if you don't know to turn it off,
yes,
people are watching you, seeing you,
hearing you,
everything, hearing you.
Yep.
All of that, unless you know to turn a particular button that you didn't even know was there.
Mm-hmm. Way deep down. And
they can stand next to you and just clone your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's bananas. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It really is.
I mean, which is why I love the fact that you are the role model that you are now, and particularly in Star Trek as our fully pipped Black captain.
I need a shirt.
We're gonna get you one. We're gonna get you one. We got you.
Fully
she said a license plate.
I need a license plate.
That's on you, sis.
Well, I'm lurking. I am.
There you go. That's all, because it's all you. This is who you are.
Got it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this came out of the Fully Pipped came out of us doing our top 10. Was it the top 10 show?
This is from Trek Talks.
Oh, from Trek Talks, right?
Trek Talks, yeah, because we were like, you are our, because she was our fully pipped captain.
Our fully pipped captain, right, on the panel, right?
That's right. Yeah. And it it became a life of its own, and I was like, it's becoming way too much of a life. People are talking about it and not giving me no damn credit. So I was like, okay, there will be a shirt. That's
where it came from, because people were, we were doing that panel with you guys. We said Fully Pipped, the chat went crazy,
yeah.
And while we were doing that panel with you and Miss Smothers and Auntie Adele, and
Michelle Hurd.
Michelle Hurd.
Yes.
And the chat was like, fully pipped. And then the next day, we see Screen Rant. We see the writer from Screen Rant and another writer from some other publication talking about she's our fully pipped captain without like any byline, without saying like, we've heard this at the Sci-Fi Sistas panel or anything. Like these white boys were trying to cop our stuff. So
stuff in a
but it was ours. It was us. It was us.
Yeah. We make sure we reposted it and said fully pipped. As seen on the Sci-Fi Sistas.
All right, I'm gonna bring us back around though to what I was, because it is important for you being the fully pipped captain, right? And it is you are now a role model for young Black women, or for Black folks, period, in space, right? We always talk about, like, we're talking about here being left out of the future, and people not being included. And I just love that you are now an influence that hopefully usher some more people into STEAM education and careers, because I feel like it's so important that we are at the table designing the planets, right? Like what's the terraforming going to look like? Who's going to live where? Who's going to be your miners? Who's going to be out on the asteroid belts working? And who's going to be planet side? Who's going to be breathing which type of air? Who's going to be left on Earth as Earth crumbles? These things are all important considerations that Black people, there's no Black people at the table that I know of, making these decisions and looking for this in the future. We are not part of it, you know?
Yeah. So it's very humbling to me because I know my first experience with this articulate science part of the future person was Nichelle Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
in a TV series. Right. The first time I ever saw the idea of a Black president of the United States was in a movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So images matter. How we're seen, where we are placed matters. The fact that the Star Trek franchise, it's gravy, it's meat and potatoes.
It really is
the reality of creating a world, of creating a future that is inclusive, that embraces the fact that we come from all planets, from all kinds of places with different histories, different technology, different traditions. And in their own way, each and every person is excellent. You may be my enemy, but you got a cloaking device. What?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can teleport things with your mind and make things happen and make people do things and believe. I mean, you can shapeshift. You can be you can do all these things, and we can work together on the same in the same Starfleet for a common goal. We can not work together and still collaborate.
Yes.
We can be at war and still learn things from each other, but everybody is there.
Yeah.
Everybody is there. And even when there are episodes or movies where there is a dominant and a subservient race or culture, it is shown to show the ridiculousness of it. Power it does not, sanctify it. It just says this is ridiculous.
Right.
What you're doing is ridiculous. And they spend the entire episode or film trying to shed light on how can we do this differently? How can we find a middle ground for this disparity? Because the disparity doesn't work. It's been proven culture after culture, century after century. When there is such gross disparity, it just does not work. It's not.
The civilization eventually collapses.
The civilization collapses because there's going to be civil war. There's going to be something where it's going to shift. Now we're looking at movies about apes and gorillas taking over. Remember in the 70s, the Planet of the Apes movies, there must have been like 400 of them.
That's what I said. How many more do we need?
From the planet that returned to the war of the beneath the he, she, transgender.
The first one,
I saw every one of them.
I was about to say, Sabrina saw every single one of them.
All of them.
The first one was the shocker, though. I mean, at the end,
that was a good one.
You saw the statue, and if you're doing a spoiler for somebody, tough.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like how many
and there was no music. It was just the waves and him cussing out the humanities. And so y'all know what he said and everything, but there was no music, no anything. And you sitting there, the first time you see it, my mouth went, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what that was. It was the us and them.
It was.
Yes.
For the apes, like, how dare you be in charge right now? You damn dirty ape. Who do you think he's talking about? What's going to happen in the world when those that we put in cages and treated like animals are now in charge and able to treat, them the way that they were treating everybody else? That's
now you the other
reality. That's the terrifying. I haven't seen the new one yet, so I can't comment.
I don't even know if I want to see it yet.
I like the new ones, but they really affect me. There's an impact. I was really emotional after I saw the last one, and I'm kind of afraid to go see this one because it is exactly what you said. It is us and them, and we know exactly who they're talking about, and
they're very impactful. Yeah.
Speaking of fully Pipped, I had a chance to interview Mike, and the question that I asked
McMahon.
Mike.
Mike McMahon.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
VIP bitch.
Mike, if you're listening,
and
we know you are.
Mike, so at the New York Comic-Con, and our table was the last one he got to. And I asked the first question, and my first question was, did he intend for her to be Black?
Captain Freeman?
Yeah. No.
Beckett?
Beckett.
Yes, Beckett to be Black. And he said that, he said, well, I knew she wasn't going to be, and then he looked around, he said, well, I knew she was going to be different, little, And I said, oh, okay. I said, because, Dawnn Lewis is the captain and everything. He said, well, after she came in and she auditioned, after Tawny came in and auditioned, she did this riff and everything. She said, that's our girl. She said, we knew that we wanted to have her mother on it. So, of course, her mother had to be Black. So we got Dawnn Lewis for the part. I'm like, oh, we're so glad you did, So, I wanted to know if that was intentional or it just happened. You know how some people say somebody happened to be Black, or was that your intent? And he basically said, yeah.
He's a very genuine, down to earth, kind of guy. And it's important to him that the work he does reflects his spirit and his sense of humanity. It really does. It's very important to him. It's really a pleasure to work with him and for him and the collaborators that he has around him, because it goes from the top down, the environment and the way all of us are considered, the way all of us are treated. When they did that live crossover show with Strange New Worlds, I understand for a time they were lobbying just to have Jack.
Oh.
And Mike was the person that said, Tawny is the star.
Right.
Thank you.
So if you have anyone, it's going to be Tawny. It will never be anyone and not Tawny. So so they had to rethink and rewrite the episode to make sure
you can tell.
For that.
You can tell by watching it. Yeah.
Mike fought for that. That's how that's how he considers us, is that he won't let people play those kinds of games with us. And
the suit's still doing
the suits are still suiting.
The suits are suiting.
Yeah. I've not always felt that protected. People that I have worked with, it's been very much my personal onus to protect myself. So it's really wonderful when you get the opportunity. There's a number of producers and studios I've worked with that are absolutely committed to protecting their talent, and that's always a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah,
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
On a low note, where were you when you found out that this was going to be the last season of Lower Decks?
I was on my way home from the airport, and Mike had been texting me through the day, and I said, I'm about to get on the plane. I'll give you a shout when I get off the plane and I'm back in the car. So I got in the car and I sent him a text. Okay, I've landed. When I get to the house, I'll give you a call. Mike called me before I could call him and to say, I wanted to tell you this. I wanted you to hear this from me. Again, this is the creator, showrunner person looking out for his talent. He said, I don't want you to hear this from anyone but me. First of all, I want you to know how much I love you and I appreciate your work and what you bring to this character into this show. He said, it's been my honor to work with you. He said, unfortunately, Paramount Plus has come up with this internal protocol that they're only going to give shows like a 5-season run.
Yeah.
And there it goes. I believe Picard had 5 seasons.
3. He just had 3. But that was Patrick Stewart's thing. Yeah.
But Discovery Disco just had 5.
Right. Discovery had 5. I don't think
Strange New Worlds.
No, not Strange New Worlds. The animated one. The other animated
Prodigy.
Prodigy. I knew it was I apologize. Prodigy did not get 5 either.
So they're getting ready to do their 2nd season, but they're on Netflix. They're on Netflix. On Netflix.
So that's what Mike is hoping, is that the fandom will really want to see more, because we've got more stories to tell.
Right.
We will just move. We will push and move elsewhere, but we had already pretty much completed recording season 5.
Wow.
When they gave us this word. Yeah, we were probably 80% done recording season 5. So we're doing some fine tuning now, and I think we may have 1 or 2 episodes left to record. So the hope is that we will land someplace else that will appreciate us, and the fans will come with us, because
the fans will.
They will.
Yeah, I pray so, because we genuinely like working with each other. We genuinely like hanging out with each other. It's really, really a beautiful environment. The relationships are very, very real. Yeah.
Very real. Well, Lower Decks has become probably my second favorite Star Trek show, which is saying a lot. Because nothing's going to beat nothing's going to beat DS9. So
DS9 is number 1.
But I the stories that he tells, that you guys tell, they're good. They're such great Star Trek stories, and they will Lower Decks will always have a place in our mostly mine, because you guys came out during COVID, and I've told Mike this more than once, that I think Lower Decks and Star Trek saved us, because we were losing our goddamn minds. Star Trek came on, Lower Decks came on like back to back. And so we had something that was our thing, when everything else in the world was changing and everything was different. Star Trek was there for us. So I always say that Lower Decks will always have a sacred place in my heart, because we could have really lost it. I mean, we needed it so bad, and it was there for us.
And we talked at Mission Chicago. We got to meet Mike and Brad Winters and
Chris
and Chris.
Chris Westlake.
Yeah, and just let them know how important it was to us. The show is to us. And I know a lot of fans are already banding together.
Yes.
And, there's doing watchathons to spike numbers. And there's what are those things called?
Petitions.
And we're doing our solid best to try to save our show. Like, I'm like, if we could save Prodigy, we can save Lower Decks too. And frankly, Lower Decks is more important to me than Prodigy. I love Prodigy. No shade, Kevin. And Dan, no shade, but like, I need Lower Decks in my life. Like, because as we were telling, like, everything is so serious all the time these days. We need to be able to laugh, and we need joy.
Yep.
And that's the healing of it. And it's such a celebration of this franchise, everything that we love about it, that coming from people who get it, right? Not like from outsiders laughing at us. It's us laughing with us, And it's just it's so important. So, it's a big deal to us.
And I think, I think what makes it so great is that Mike is a fan. You're a fan. Tawny's a fan. It's like she said, like Tamia said, you're part of this whole thing. You're part of the fandom. And it's like a fan film came out, and Paramount said, "Go ahead," and we got to all watch this together, because we know the people involved are just like us, just like us, just loving it, because the deep cuts are no joke on
I'm telling you.
What I love the show? I love the humanity of it. I love that it's real people doing their best and making mistakes and trying to work through it. You know what it reminds me of? If you ever watch those videos of people doing amazing things, like running on the treadmill at high speed and doing aerobics, or like a dance move or whatever, and it's aerobics, and then it cuts to the average person.
Right.
And it's horrible. They fall and they bust their behinds.
It's us.
That's what our show is.
Yes.
Our show is if the world was sitting watching Star Trek and go, okay, I'm gonna teleport myself over this and watching it just be a hot mess. I'm gonna save someone's life with this Xerox machine. It's like,
right.
It's a hot mess. That's what I feel like our show is. Like is the everyman replica or attempt to replicate something amazing that somebody saw somewhere. And this is how it came out when I did it. Yeah. That's
it's like regular people in Starfleet. It's just the regular folks.
The ones that didn't go to the academy.
No, they went to the academy. They went to the academy. They get on the Enterprise.
The valedictorian. I went. I was
right. To the bottom of the class.
Yeah, they weren't even at the bottom. You were so harsh, Sabrina. Right. Damn, they're not at the bottom of the class. They're just average. They're just normal people. Jesus. That's the Mary Sue talking over there. She was freaking great at everything.
But I do consider you all the flagship of the California class, though. I do.
Yes, we are.
There you go.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be a show.
I love that little ship. I love that ship.
Yeah, we got to move on because this woman does not have the whole night to be with us.
Yes.
Exactly. You read my mind. That's exactly what I want to talk about. This foundation is hugely important. Tell us about it.
The A New Day Foundation. We were talking before about me being committed to young people and speaking into them. And I have embraced the fact that I'm seen as a role model, that I'm seen as an example. So I am just diving in both feet, both shoulders, getting my, black girl hair wet with the reality of just trying my best to be a blessing to somebody else. So I started the A New Day Foundation, which is a play on my name, Dawnn, so that the mission of our organization is that where you were yesterday is not where you need to be today, nor where you have to end up tomorrow. So we want to be a day of opportunity towards you being your best self. So we offer programs, workshops, what we call experiences for our teens, literally teens 13 to 19 can participate in our teen programs for boys, which is called Mentors, which is spelled MEN capital TORS, which stands for Men Talking of Relevant Situations.
Oh, I love it.
Sisters Hangout, which is for teen girls 13 to 19. And we do at least 3 experiences for them a year, where we introduce them to different cultural or career opportunities that they don't normally have access to. And in some cases, they don't even know even existed. We took the boys to the Bill Pickett rodeo.
Oh, wow.
They had never seen a black cowboy before, much less a rodeo, much less a horse in person. So several of the cowboys are friends of mine. So they came and spoke to them and answered their questions. It was an amazing experience for these young boys. We took about 20 girls camping on Glenn Turman's ranch every summer.
Wow.
He used to turn it into a camp for inner city kids. So we took about 20 girls out there, taught them how to rope, how to ride, archery, had campfires. They were sleeping in sleeping bags. Some of them didn't know what a sleeping bag was, so we provided sleeping bags. I do voiceover work. So I took a group of kids into a recording studio and taught them how to make their own animation and video game projects.
Oh, wow.
Into 3 groups, and 1/3 went with the engineer. He taught them how to set up mics, how to EQ voices and run the mixer board. Another group went with our director. She taught them how to break down scripts, cast each of us that was appropriate for different roles. Sorry, you got me.
That damn show.
So, and direct us in the booth in our various roles. And then the 3rd group was with me in the booth, learning how to manipulate their voices to create different characters. And so every hour, each group would rotate. So by the end of the day, they got to do some of everything. And then we feed them, we provide meals, everything we do free of charge. So if you've ever thought to send us $5, $25, $5,000, $50,000, just know that every penny is going toward making everything that we do free and available to all of our participants. At the end of that, we have what's called a safe space conversation, where we encourage the young people to have a candid conversation about what's going on in their lives. And invariably, there's someone else in the circle who has either experienced or is currently experiencing something that someone else is going through. So these young people now are awakened to the reality that they are not the only ones dealing with what they are dealing with. They have an opportunity for peer-to-peer mentorship. They now discover a village that they did not have access to before, and support. And then myself and a few members of our team help guide the conversation to help them find different perspectives on how to deal with the things that they are dealing with. And more often than not, parents are not involved. You have to entrust your kid to us for the day. So you drop them off, we do the experience, we feed them, you come back and get them. The parents will send us emails. What did you do to my child? I said to them, but they came home and spoke more respectfully. I'm watching them deal differently with their younger sibling. Their grades are better in school. Whenever you do anything, please let us know. And more often than not, once a young person comes to any of our programs, they keep coming back until they age out.
Wow.
The annual conference we do that's coming up on June 15th, this year we're going to be on USC's campus again, is called Focused N.F.I.T, F-I-T, which stands for Financially and Technologically Informed for a Different World. So we have a 4-track day, conference day, with workshops in financial literacy, in technology, in health and wellness, and motivation, activation, skill set management. We don't want you to just be motivated. We want you to know how to put these pieces together so you have a successful outcome. And that conference is geared toward older students. It's high school seniors and their parents. So we have workshops for the parents to send that whole family home informed, and college freshmen and sophomores. So it's that 4-year demographic of preparing to go into higher education. And now that I've arrived, now what? So we give them skill sets, how to financially get to and through higher education, how to be entrepreneurs, start your own business. We realize college is not for everyone. However, you have to become a responsible adult in the world community. You have to know how to stay marketable, how to stay competitive. And that's where technology comes in. And some of the things that we were just talking about, you have to understand, how do you take what is a desire in my heart? How do I take what is a basic skill in my life and possibly turn it into a career? Something that allows me to sustain myself in an empowering way, but also allows me to pay my bills. You have to know how to navigate that. So we've created what we believe is a really comprehensive curriculum and opportunity to feed into whole human beings. And at the conference, in addition to the workshops, again, we feed everyone. Everything is free of charge. Where it's necessary, we assist with providing transportation, like buses, to get them to and from the conference. And we also award anywhere from 6 to 12 scholarships of $2,000 each and a brand new laptop computer. Now, to win the scholarship, you compete. You have an essay, your GPA, you have to submit a letter of recommendation, and you have to be accepted into a college, because that's where we send the money. So this really applies to the high school seniors who have graduated and the college freshmen and sophomores. So if you're still in school, we will give you this money to help defray some of your costs. Now, if you're a high school junior, we have what's called an achievement award. It's basically an I see you gift. And we award anywhere from $250 to $500 in cash and a device.
Wow.
This year, that is being sponsored by Miss Rashida Jones, who happens to be the president of MSNBC, this amazing African-American woman. This will be her 2nd year in sponsoring our Achievement Award. And she also sponsors one of our Sisters Hangout events every year. She's like, Dawnn, this is where I want the money to go. I want it to empower young girls. And then this bit of money, I want to be the achievement gift to the high school juniors. So we let them know, we see you. You are on the right track. Keep up the good work. Our scholarships this year, again, same as last year, are going to be sponsored by Mr. Noel Massey, who used to be the national director of UPS until he retired. Pardon me, Mr. Aubrey Stevenson, he's the CEO of FMS, Financial Management Services in Washington, D.C. So that's where we get the money for our scholarships, the actual dollars. Our computers this year, just like last year, are being sponsored by the Los Angeles Lakers.
All right.
So we've got some amazing people on board who believe in us, who believe in our efforts. So if you go to our website, www.anewdayfoundation.net, if you see my face, you're in the right place. You can register for the conference there. There's a link there. There's also a QR code, and you can direct your friends, family members, as long as they are in the age range, high school juniors and seniors, and parents, and college freshmen and sophomores. Registration is required. I can't stress that enough, because that allows us to get a head count, to know how many backpacks, because we provide all of the workshop materials. We provide all of the meals. So we have to know how many meals to order, how many, classroom sizes, how many workshop leaders. So yes, you have to register. If by chance you hear about it at the last minute and just show up, we'll take that into account too, but we don't encourage that. We really do encourage you to make sure we've got a spot saved, especially for you, to register and come and be there. And encourage you to join us on any of our other experiences throughout the rest of the year. But this year is June 15th, right around the corner.
Yep, it sure is.
Don't mess around. Go online, find the link, register, and we are excited about seeing you and hosting you for the conference.
The link will be in the description of this show. Also, the registration link, I'll make sure it's in the description of the show also, so that it's readily available for anyone to just click on it.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes. And as you can see, I'm wearing the logo on my sleeve. I'm wearing actually the Focused N.F.I.T t-shirt. You can't see it.
Cool.
But when you look at our logo, you'll see the images, the silhouettes of 3 people reaching upward, and they're all 3 different colors, because we come in all different shades.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
All different
love it.
That's what we want it to be. And it's the new day. It's the sun rising on the horizon. That's what that is. We are your new day of opportunity towards you reaching and accomplishing your best self and your dreams.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, every time we talk about a New Day Foundation, I am just in awe of the work you guys are doing. I mean, it's amazing. I wish I had something like that when I was a kid. I like all of these services, I mean, they're just invaluable. So we want to do everything that we can to help, push funding to you guys and to help you guys grow and to continue doing the good work that you're doing.
Exactly.
Of our amazing sponsors are, US Bank, City National in the financial literacy piece. Our title sponsor for our technology track is Cisco Systems.
Oh, wow.
And one of your favorite people, Dr. Ronald Gamble from NASA.
Yes.
Every year. And he's bringing a team, I think at least 4 of his NASA team with him to lead workshops this year. It just grows and grows, and the partnerships and the collaborations, we couldn't do it without them. So it is so greatly appreciated.
Yes. So for our listeners, you'll hear a lot more about A New Day Foundation. We hope to do more with Dawnn in the future. So just go to the website, check it out, let some young person about it. But Dawnn will be doing a lot more with you in the future. So can't wait.
Ladies, you're just awesome.
You are awesome.
You're awesome.
I mean, we're totally geeking out that we got to sit down with you again and, and talk about all the wonderful things that you've done. But this is the real reason why we really wanted to do the shows, because we really want people to know about a New Day Foundation. We just want to amplify it as much as possible. So come on, guys, all you mothershippers out there and all of our fans and listeners, please open up. This is a great cause. Please let the young people that you know in your lives know about it. And, let's keep helping it grow.
Definitely.
This year we're in Los Angeles, but just know, if you're really interested and you're not in Los Angeles, just send us a note and we'll do what we can to work it out and come to a place that is closer. to you.
Yeah.
We were in the midst of the pandemic. We were doing a lot of things virtually so that people could log in from Canada, from Miami, from all over the place. We haven't done that again this year. But no, the program, the Focused N.F.I.T conference, is completely mobile. We can go wherever. We can go. Yeah, but this year we will be on the campus of USC in Los Angeles on June 15th. It's a Saturday.
So what a great day.
Yeah.
Those kids are going to come out of there changed.
All we can do is try. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you can do.
Try, but you got to show up to get it. So
yeah, we're going to get it out there. We're going to make a point of getting it out there. We're going to be at Trek Long Island. We're going to be talking about it there. So just know that it will be on our tongues until the day comes for it to happen. So we want it to be a success. That's for sure.
It's greatly appreciated.
All right, yep. I was just about to say, this is about time, right? We are so appreciative of you and the generosity with your time, and we just love you, and we wanted to make sure that you knew how much you were loved, right here, right now, from all of us. And Yvette, can you tell people where they can write and show their love to Dawnn, and how if they have any questions or comments about today's show?
You can find us at sci-fisisters.com. That's SYFYSISTAS.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, sci-fi.sisters. We are also on the platform formerly known as Twitter at Sci-Fi Sisters. For more interviews in our infamous Top 10 series, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sci-Fi Sisters, Inc. Become a patron of Sci-Fi Sisters today at patreon.com/Sci-Fi Sisters. The Trek Geeks Network's presenting sponsor is Fansets. Go to Fansets for pins and memorabilia from all your favorite franchises. Visit fansets.com and use Trek Geeks, all caps, for your exclusive 10% discount. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
Thanks, Yvette. And we'd also like to thank our associate producers, Sailor Marge, Stephanie Baker, and Karen Dramera. Thank you guys so much for your support of the show, and we would be remiss if we didn't thank the baddest engineer in any and all universes. That's Dose, the anonymous one. He's responsible for the music you hear on our show, as well as all of our engineering. And if you are in need of his services, hit him up on Instagram at dose_the_anonymous_1. That's the number 1, y'all. And that's it for us. We hope you enjoyed listening. We love you very much. Peace, love, and hair grease.